Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. So, hello guys, and welcome back to Miss Lori's Kitchen. Today, we are going to be talking about pumpkins, about squash. Pumpkins are squash. But we're going to be making a pumpkin pie. And I have quite a bit of canned pumpkin that I put up several years ago. I put up quite a bit because I've still got quite a bit left on the shelf. But we're also going to be talking about store-bought canned pumpkin. And that's what I'm going to be using today to make my pumpkin pie. I got two girls that absolutely love pumpkin pie. My grandkids love pumpkin pie. And that's what they're wanting Mama to make, so that's what I'm going to do. But I want to talk about the difference. Now, you can buy canned pumpkin just about anywhere. And I have bought every kind, probably different brand names, whether if it was organic or not organic. Now, the one thing I don't buy is pumpkin pie mix, which has all everything you need to make a pumpkin pie. I buy just the pumpkin puree is what I buy. But it's all good. It doesn't matter if you grew it yourself and you put it up yourself. Of course, you know, it's always the best. We all know that. But store-bought canned puree, if you look at the ingredients and make sure that that there's only one ingredient, and it'll say pumpkin puree, and that's it. There's so many different recipes you can make with pumpkin. Pumpkin is good for you. And you don't even have to use your certain, everybody thinks you have to make a pumpkin pie out of the big orange round pumpkins, but that's not true. I tell you, I put up butternut squash, and that makes some of the best pies. It's just a little bit sweeter, I think, or something. I don't know. There's something about butternut squash pie, but Mr. Brown just loves them. And I've got several jars still in the pantry of that too. But we're fixing to get to our recipe. But what I want to do is talk to you just a little bit about pumpkin. And there's a lot of y'all that can't grow pumpkins. I can't grow a bunch of pumpkins. I do grow pumpkins here. Some years are better than others. This year was awful for everything. So anyways, I was just so glad that I had so much put up from the years before that I'm not, you know, struggling with not having as much out of the garden this year. We've had an awful drought. Things just in our area just did not do good. But the good Lord doesn't promise us a good crop every year, so you always have to be prepared. But there are different squashes, different pumpkins. We all know that. There's so many out there that a lot of us don't even know about. It's all these different names and stuff. But I just want you to know that you can make a pie out of just about every one of them. It don't matter if it's acorn squash, if it's butternut, if it's the Amish pie pumpkin, if it's, let's see, last year and year before I grew some of the best pumpkin, and it's called the Long Island cheese pumpkin. And the reason it's called that because it's shaped like a round wheel of cheese, and I'm telling you, it was some of the best. There's just so many. So always know that you can make a pie out of it. And it doesn't really take a whole lot. You can take a cup and a half of pureed squash, pumpkin, and you can make a pie out of it. So I always know that. But a lot of y'all can't grow pumpkins. You're not able to even go to a farmer's market and find pumpkins. Now, right now, everybody's got pumpkins out everywhere. But pumpkin is good for you. And keeping canned pumpkin, like I said, you can make so many things with pumpkin. You can use it when you're making desserts instead of using oil and different things in your dessert recipes. Pumpkins is a good substitute for a lot of things. I haven't made a video yet, but, oh, sweet potato pie, yes. And I've got sweet potatoes canned too, so. And I do have a video canning pumpkin, or it was butternut squash, I don't remember, but it's the same method. But you can make a pie in any kind of pumpkin pretty much, like I said. Now, to me, there's nothing any better than homegrown pumpkin. But I'm getting back to store-bought pumpkin. You can make, let's say, you can make tortillas out of pumpkin. All it takes is flour and some of your pumpkin puree. You mix that up, you flatten that out, and you cook it up, and you've got pumpkin tortillas. You can do it with sweet potatoes too. I may have to do that, a video on that sometime. There's so much you can do with pumpkin. So it's a wonderful thing to have in your pantry. You can make brownies with them. You can make cakes with them. You can make cookies with them. I mean, the sky's the limit. Mr. Brown loves, his mama used to just cook up pumpkin in a skillet with brown sugar, a little bit of butter, and they just, just ate it. It's just so good. And it's good for you. So I just believe that pumpkin is a very important product to have in your pantry. And like I said, it don't have to be homegrown. It can be store-bought, whether if it's organic or not. Just make sure pretty much that you get pumpkin puree and not pumpkin pie mix. So anyways, let's get started on making our pie. It goes by really fast. I made an all butter crust for my pumpkin pie, and I do have different videos making pie crust, and I'll put the recipe down below for my pie crust. Like I said, it was all butter. It was just, let's see, it was 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a pinch of salt, and it was a stick of very cold or frozen butter, and then cold water, and then I put an egg in it. You don't have to put an egg in it. It does something for that pie crust. It makes it richer, and it does make it a little bit flakier. So that's how I done my crust that day. But anyways, let's get started with talking about pumpkin, talking about some of the different pumpkins, and then we'll make our pie. So I hope y'all stay with me. I'm Miss Lori. You're here at Whippoorwill Holler. If you're new to my channel, we are a homestead. We've homesteaded all of our life, and we just do a little bit of everything here. So you stay with us, and we'll make some pumpkin pie. We love pumpkin pie any time of the year. It doesn't have to be a holiday. A lot of times my kids would rather have a pumpkin pie than they would a birthday cake. So we just love pumpkin. And whether if you use store-bought or your own home canned pumpkin, it's just all so good. It can be any kind of pumpkin. You may grow just all kinds of different pumpkins, and you have your favorite. You can use just your regular pie pumpkins. A lot of them are sweeter than others. And the little ones seem to be pretty easy to grow too. And of course, Mr. Brown's favorite is the butternut squash. We not only roast it and eat it, but we also make pies out of it too. And different squashes, of course, are different colors. And you get all textures and different colors when you puree your pumpkin or your squash. And pumpkins are squash, so you can tell by the different colors there of the different kinds of pumpkins. So let's get started. I'm going to be using store-bought pumpkin because I've got a bunch of cans of it. And I'm going to be making the kids a pumpkin pie. And I've already got my crust made. It was a butter crust, and I'll put that recipe down below. This is going to be a very easy recipe, and it's one of my favorite and the kids' favorite pumpkin pies. Okay guys, let's get started making our pumpkin pie. And like I said, I'm going to be using store-bought pumpkin puree because I have got a lot of cans of it, and I'm going to start using some of it. This is from Thrive Market. It's a pumpkin puree. It's organic. Very good pumpkin. We're just going to use a whole can. It's got a pretty color to it. And like I said, I always read your ingredients. Make sure the only ingredient is pumpkin. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Now I've got 10 ounces of evaporated milk. I'm going to start with about 6 ounces. I'm going to put 2 eggs, 2 fresh eggs, and I usually end up putting just a little bit more evaporated milk in it, but I like to get it stirred up and I like to see the consistency of it first. And like I said, this is a very easy recipe. It's going to come together very easy, and it's whether if I was using my home canned pumpkin or store-bought, it's the same recipe. You can kind of see the texture of it. So I'm going to put maybe just a couple more ounces, not much. I don't want it too thin, but you don't want it real thick either. A happy medium there, about like that, where it just kind of falls off your spatula pretty good. I'm going to put about half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to put, now my preference is a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you like a lot of cinnamon, you can go up to a teaspoon. But I'm putting about a half a teaspoon because I'm going to be putting a little bit of pumpkin pie spice in here too. And of course that has, your pumpkin pie spice has your cloves and your nutmeg and a little bit of cinnamon in it. And I'm only going to put a half a teaspoon of that too. So it's all to your taste, but this is how I make mine and what I use. I want to be able to taste my pumpkin, so I don't want everything overpowering the pumpkin taste. I want the cinnamon and the nutmeg and stuff kind of be the background taste, but not the main taste of my pumpkin pie. And you can kind of see the texture there, and that's what I like. And we're going to put brown sugar. Now, most recipes, especially on your can, will call for about 3/4 cup of sugar. I use brown sugar because I like that extra kind of, the maple sorghum molasses taste to it. Just gives it a good taste. And I'm just putting half a cup. I don't like my pie too sweet, where you can't taste the pumpkin. So a half a cup is usually plenty for us. So it's all mixed up and ready to go into our pie crust. Just kind of clean my mess up. Y'all know how messy I am. So we're going to pull our pie crust up here. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to take just a little bit of brown sugar, and I'm going to sprinkle this over the top of my pie crust. Now this is an uncooked pie crust. And what this does, it just kind of gives it, caramelizes on top. It kind of keeps your crust from getting a little bit soggy. And it just gives that pie a good taste. You can see how I put a lot of these bigger jars you see I get from the school. Banana peppers, pickles, stuff like that, and I use them. So I'm just going to pour my pumpkin in here. This is a deep dish, 9-inch pie plate. And my pie crust that I make with 1.5 cups of flour, it always fills a 9-inch deep dish pretty good. So we got it in there, and my oven right now is heated to 400, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top. Now, if I had a little bit of cinnamon and sugar mixed up together, I would sprinkle that on top, and that would kind of caramelize on top. But this is optional. So 400-degree oven for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, I'll change it over to 350, and it'll cook for another about anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes. And it'll be done, and it'll be so good. Okay, guys, I'm just going to confess. Y'all heard me. I said it twice. I say squashes. And I also say waspers. That's just how I say it. It's wrong. Yes, I know it. Squash, wasp. That's just me. I have no excuse.
So, a friend of mine, we were discussing what was the best pumpkin to make a pumpkin pie out of. He said, stop by the house. I'll give you the best pumpkin pie pumpkin. And I think it's called a cow patty. I'm not sure. Cow patty pumpkin. Cow something. Real thick. It's not a carving pumpkin, that's for sure. Real thick and heavy. He grew these himself.
So here it is, guys, out of the oven. It took about an hour altogether. And it's done, and it's so pretty and ready to eat. It didn't last very long either. No leftovers. Good pie. So guys, I'm so happy you stayed with me, and we made some pumpkin pie. It's a very easy recipe. Y'all try it. I know that a lot of y'all are thinking about the holidays coming up, and y'all be getting you some pumpkin and your evaporated milk and butter and stuff. Get it. If you can right now, get it and put it back, because I'm afraid that we're either going to be without pretty soon, or things are going to be so sky high. So go ahead and get it your menu made for the holidays and get stuff put up, and everything will be good. God bless everybody. We love y'all. Make you a pumpkin pie.